there really shouldn't be any cause and effect going on between a lot of things that happen in the world. I was just thinking about what happened with Greg Biffle and his family. I haven't really even read any of the story. I just know the basics. I don't want to even. It doesn't matter to those details. And it's just because I don't know. It's like it says something about the nature of this world and life that could even happen. That somebody some whatever accident and their family died. I mean, that is some bullshit. It's not like he and I were best friends or anything or hung out or anything. I just knew him from school. But I did know him, and he was a cool guy, right? He's somebody that I knew who made it in the world, for whatever that means. Successful, did something he loved. That's fucking awesome. And it helped me to know that somebody I knew actually, did something, was able to. Guess the air show is starting now. I woke up a little while ago and it was like just silent, not a sound. And I made a short video on my camera about it. It's like, what's going on? Normally you can hear the freeway. And there were no airplanes either, but I'm sure that will be corrected soon, right? Something else about the nature of this world. I'm at a loss for even words. I made a video about it when that happened, and there was one comment on it that I replied to, and then all I could really think to say was like, what the hell? God has some serious explaining to do. If it's bad and harmful and troubling and hurts people and results in sadness, then it's highly promoted in this world. All the little yes men suck up ass hats are promoted and seem to be successful all the time. And if you're a good person, a decent person, and you're fair as you can be in this world, and you actually care about values and morality and just common decency, you are absolutely pitted against by those people. They hate you, they despise you. I guess you're a mirrored reflection of everything crappy that they are, maybe. That's what psychology likes to say. But I don't know. Good people seem to get the short end of the stick all the time. And I don't, what can you say? Oh, hey, I got a great idea. Let's get in my airplane and go fly slowly around over residential areas, in rural parts of town where lots of neighborhoods are and people live. Won't that be fun? I don't even think that's a helicopter. Look how slow it's going. My Raynaud's is starting to kick in now too. It's a Magneto. It's super cool that when airplanes fly over, my fingers turn white and I have difficulty. I get brain fog all of a sudden. Now, you could say I'm just being distracted by the noise and I'm letting it get to me. It's bothering me because of my mind is choosing to dwell upon it, and that's all neat and good to say, but if that were the case, how could you ever know the difference between having your actual brain waves interrupted by electromagnetic frequencies, or you just having some normal type of brain fog, which is known to happen and to people from time to time? How could you ever tell the difference? Well, you couldn't, is the answer. Some, rhetorical question, I know. You couldn't tell the difference. Nobody could, and so if it starts to happen all the time, well, you've got dementia, well, you've got Alzheimer's, well, you've got this, that, the other thing. So it doesn't even need to be a physical ailment induced upon us. I know this is nothing to do with what happened with Greg, other than the world's, whether it be of man or of God, intent on creating as much Loosh, the Loosh farm idea, creating as much sadness, negative energy as possible in people all the time in lots of ways. That's a bamboo tree. Bamboo is really, it's a really unique type of tree. People are like, oh, don't plant bamboo, it'll go everywhere and take over everything. Maybe. But I've twice in my life I've lived in this spot right here under this bamboo tree. And the bamboo talks. It speaks some nights, especially in the spring when it's growing. You can hear it grow. It grows so fast. It like just screech, and screeching noises outside. And I was like, "What the heck is that?" Finally, it occurred to me when it was the stalks of the bamboo growing. It would get to a certain point where it had to, slide against its leaves and whatever. So anyway, I've got to get to work if I can with my Raynaud's hands and my brain fog, and continue, carry on, right? I'd like to accomplish something, something at least semi-decently big, at least something that I can, help to, I don't know, give support to my kids, my family. I don't know, maybe just for ego, I want to impress them or something, but obviously that's not happening, no matter if I want that to be the case or not. I just can't pull it off. I've done okay at times in the past, but any time that I've started to make progress in my life, the world suddenly shows up with a new way, whether it be the works of the law and of man, or whether it be an act of God. Some fucking bullshit comes out of fucking left field and slaps you in the fucking head. Whether it be Dickhead McAirplane flying in circles with his directed energy weapons, beaming the ground to ensure that everybody has a diagnosis. Is it not obvious to people that the government exists as an entity that feeds upon us? It feeds on us. It employs us in its service as it feeds upon us. And the people it employs are sent out to cause harm to you and your family. They're poisoning us. Thanks. They're poisoning us. And they're lying about damn near everything that's possible to be lied about. My neighbor, the hot rodder. And they're an entity that feeds on the people. And their existence is that, oh, they do things for us. Oh, they keep the sewers going and the roads going and the bridges and coordinate all of this stuff of modern life, which isn't true. They oversee it because they have armies, but they don't coordinate it. It coordinates itself. It's called business. But do we? It requires us as a food source, and so how do you ensure that the government is needed? How would, if you were a government, how would you ensure that the people needed you? Not what what if the people decided they were just sick of having to pay taxes and figured that they could come up with their own way to govern themselves, and things would just work themselves out and find an equilibrium at a certain point between crime and not crime and punishment and whatever. Just let it go and see what happens, right? No government wants that. That would abolish them. They would not even be there. You would have no more police forces. You would have no more prisons. You would have no more court systems. You would have no more taxes. You'd have no more bylaws and laws. And in some ways, that leaves you open and vulnerable. In other ways, it actually frees you. And it's kind of, a philosophy as to which way you look at it in life. But we're being poisoned on purpose, and it's being done, through people's ignorance of it and their just disbelief that it could really be happening. I don't think that chemtrails are real, so they're not. We'll be perfectly fine. There's nothing going on here. Hey, let's go fly my airplane around slowly over homes. Or is this is Helicopter McGee, of course. My Reynolds is probably can't see it. My fingers are all frozen and hurt. And here comes the helicopter. We're being poisoned and attacked. This is like war crimes. It's happening to us right now from the hello, who has the military? Are they're protecting us? I got to hear this bullshit about how the military protects us. What a fucking crock of shit. The military is doing it to us. Your sons and daughters are not protecting anybody. They're working for Satan, basically, if you believe in that dynamic. There's a lot of ways of talking about the spiritual, religious parts of life in the world. And people argue about which is which. It doesn't fucking matter. There is a spiritual aspect to this existence and the things that happen here. If you surround yourself with tech and you're in a city all the time, you can deny that and just pretend it's not real. And I think that's what most people do. It's an uncomfortable thing to think about, that there's strange, spooky shit going on that you have no idea of and you can't do anything about. So you try and isolate yourself from the natural world as much as possible and just pretend that that's just some story made up by quacks, that there's, some entities out there, or that there's spirits, or that there's demons or ghosts or God or any of that. We just pretend it's not real and surround ourselves with tech. But it is real. I grew up in the fucking woods, man. And when you're out in the wilderness, away from all the signal, which reminds me, I wonder how many of us have never been out of a 60 hertz frequency electromagnetic pulse in our lives. I mean, there's power lines right there, and they're running at 60 hertz. 60 hertz, hertz, 60 hertz frequency. 60 times a second, there's a wave of energy coming off of that power line, high-powered one, that rotates as it moves through space, let's say. And when it's in the vertical, it's an electrical wave, and when it's in the horizontal, it's a magnetic wave. So 60 times a second, there is both an electric wave in the vertical and a magnetic wave in the horizontal, passing through everything around. Seemingly does nothing, but it's measurable. We know it's there. The wavelength of a 60 hertz electrical wave is, I googled it once, I don't remember it exactly, but I think it was like 3,700 miles or something. So 60 times a second, that power line is sending a wave 3,700 miles and back and forth constantly. And that one and everyone like it across the whole country. So they're all just sending their signals all directions all the time. And if you look into waves, waves interact with each other. And, all waves follow the same behavior. So you can study water waves and learn about electric waves. And you can study sound waves and learn about electric waves. They follow the same characteristics and phenomenon, their interactions with each other and such, and how they can build and increase frequency or resonance when they're tuned with each other, or discord when they're not tuned with each other. They all exhibit the same characteristics, and we're just surrounded in them. We're surrounded in them. They're running through the walls right next to you right now in your house. And in modern times, nobody has ever, 3,700 mile wavelength, that's the entire country. So every one of those power lines in the entire country is sending its wave back and forth farther than the country is. We're just immersed in a soup of it continuously. And when you put enough different frequencies together, when they're not tuned, it just becomes static. If you think about it, electromagnetic static. And our bodies are electromagnetic. We form and come into being and grow and develop based on, the rules of electromagnetism and energy flow. So is it really a big surprise that, everybody's sick in this day and age? And then you can add to it, it's intentional. It's not an accident that these airplanes and jets are flying all over us all the time, and that they're spraying things in the air and poisoning the food and the water supply. Whoever they are, I don't have to tell you who they are or know who they are even, or any of that for you to know there's a they. Unless you believe that it's just magical, devil energy that comes out of Boeing or something, and then animates people into being, oh, I'm a robot, but I'm going to kill the people, whatever. But I digress. Hey, here comes an airplane. Wow, the air show's getting ready to... It's been too quiet. It was so quiet when I got up. I knew it couldn't last for long. And I feel a little off today. My Raynaud's fingers. Isn't that neato? I kind of wondered if it was just a phenomenon of the audio, the compression wave from the propellers or something, that frequency, the diesel engine that the small planes run, because they're Cummins diesels, I think. I don't know. I'm getting the brain fog again, so I can't keep my thoughts coherent. But hey, that could be the 60 hertz wave from the lines, or it could be the airplanes, or it could just be my imagination. It's the power of my imagination. I just desperately looking for some reason to blame my problems on. It's not myself. That's what's going on. What's going on is I got to finish this head, put it on this bike, clean it all up, and try and make some money. Because obviously that's the only thing that matters in life is money. Just ask your relatives, they'll tell you. Don't ask them, they won't say that, most likely. Hopefully not. I suppose if you're rich, they probably will say that. If you're poor, they won't say that. Lucky I'm poor. It's not good to have to go without, but it's better than being born into a system that forces you to be something that they want you to be. I mean, that's one thing I can say about being poor and fucking destitute is there's not really anybody telling me what to do on a daily basis. Of course, my options are very limited, and I'm lucky to have the people I know in my life and that are helping me. Very lucky. And, I would thank God for it, but from what all I can tell, God's a fucking asshole, so I really am not going to thank him for any of it. I'll give the Bart Simpson prayer. We paid for all this stuff, so thanks for nothing. And we pay for it. Anyway.